Hovertank 3D is a rootin' tootin' post-apocalyptic mutant shootin' first-person shooter made by a few autistic programmers back in the early 90s. Before there was Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, or hell even Catacombs 3D, the boys at id Software were cooking up something. John Carmack, computer techno-wizard and juvenile delinquent, had already figured out how to make computers with VGA graphics able to smooth scroll. Okay, so you know how in Super Mario Bros. When you're running in the level and the camera follows you? Yeah, back in the day, home computers weren't able to do that. Instead, old 2D computer platforming games like that would load one part of a room at a time, then pause, and then load the next part like in Dangerous Dave. This genius figured out how to make home computers also able to do that and created this game with some of his friends. Commander Keen, a game about a schizophrenic child fighting aliens in his head. But 2D was out. Even if smooth scrolling was new to computers, the concept of 2D had been done to death. The boys at id wanted something more, something new, something transcending dimensional time and space. Oh, neat. Welcome to DOSBox, kids. This is how dinosaurs used to use computers. I had no idea what I was doing when I loaded this, but this random Russian kid on YouTube helped me, so thanks a lot. Normally when I play a game in DOS, it's through Steam and it just loads the game for you, so... Alright, welcome to Hovertank. Oh god. So, this was before they knew how to put textures on walls, which, I mean, okay. Up until this point, first-person 3D games were mostly just wireframe and didn't really have, like, walls, so this is definitely an upgrade, but I already thought that Wolf's repetitive textures and mazy level design was bad enough, Jesus Christ. Anyway, in this game we play as a mercenary hired by an organization during the throes of a global nuclear conflict. We're given our hover tank armed with a mounted gun and tasked with saving hostages / stranded people in different places before they're all nuked. Depending on how many people we save, we get money at the end of the level. These hostages are weird, they look like children almost, but the girl version are wearing bikinis. I mean, there are little pre-level things telling you what's going on and who you're saving, and normally they say something like random civilians or scientists, so I guess they're supposed to be adults? But was Adrian Carmack a lolly? Hell, on one level it does even explicitly state that they are children, but only for that level? I don't know what's going on. What fun would a game where you just extract hostages from an area be? Not very, so the boys at id added a few enemies to the game as well as a level timer to make it more fun. The enemies include totally not just a Pinky from Doom, a mutated monster which walks very slowly at you to bite through your tank, I guess. The Tentacle Fetish, an alien-looking creature that hunts down humans you need to save on the map and kills them. And finally, other tanks that will just end you if you're not quick enough. All of the enemies just die in one shot and the Tentacle Fetish can be run over. And that level timer. Well, that's how much time you have till the nukes land, so you better get all the hostages and teleport out of there before you... What about our tank? Well, it can take 3 shots before going down. Once you die, you're shown your high score, just the amount of money you were able to collect, and given the option to retry the level. However, if you succeed, you not only get money based on how many people you saved, but also based on how much extra time you had. After that, if you took any damage in the previous level, it's fixed up after docking some money for repairs, and you're sent back out to the next level. Once you get to around level 10, you'll see these things. They repair your tank mid-game. Naturally, while playing, I had the idea, what happens if I kill all the hostages myself? Nothing, you just don't get any money for saving people, and the dude at the end screen just looks pissed. So go ahead, break the Geneva Convention as much as you want, though I guess during a nuclear war it's more like the Geneva Suggestion. Alright, enough yapping about the game. How does it play? Well, being a game from 1991, the controls are a little poo-poo shit. You move and look around with the arrow keys, shoot with the control key, and move faster with the alt key. Maybe I'm just some dumb zoomer, but I much prefer using WASD and mouse to move and look around, but whatever, bro. I know it's just a thing in the time and WASD wasn't a standard until Half-Life. So you take this tank through these maze-like levels with solid color walls which are hard to navigate, all while controlling it with the arrow keys and having to turn very slowly, while at the same time having an insanely zoomed in FOV making everything feel claustrophobic. It almost adds an artificial difficulty to the game. I don't think it's very hard, but at the same time it's easy to die really quickly. If a demon sneaks up behind you, it can kill you within just a matter of seconds, and it's like, this wouldn't have fucking happened if I could have just flicked my mouse around instead of having to wait for this goddamn tank to slowly turn around. I guess it's realistic in that aspect, but also in this game I'm fighting this mutated demon monstrosity, so realism doesn't really fucking matter here. The further you get into the game, the bigger the maps become and the more confusing and hard to navigate they become. At least in Wolfenstein, there are textures and some areas look a little bit different. Each level is just one big room with a bunch of interconnected boxes. There are hardly even hallways most of the time, just abstract level design that is supposed to depict war-torn cities. I mean, I guess if I squint. There's this little locator thing on the HUD which is supposed to show you the locations of enemies and people to save, but it's very slightly off, and in a maze being slightly off means you'll be searching for a while looking for whoever you're trying to save. There is one redeeming part of the game, however, the sound effects. Knowing that this is an id game, you might expect a rocking soundtrack and edited stock sound effects to accompany the gameplay, but that couldn't be further from the truth. No, almost all of the sounds in this game sound like they were just recorded at home. It's so funny. So that's Hovertank 3D. I'm not going to go through each level explaining what's going on because they're all just different mazes using the same 3 enemies, and I'm not going to sit here for 15 minutes explaining how I got lost 17 times in one level and how this corridor with whatever the hell this is supposed to be is different from the other one, because it's not. This game has 20 levels and they all blend together like my testicles after I put them in a blender, and I couldn't be fucked to play all of them. I got through about half of the levels in this game in about 20 minutes, after which I just watched someone else play through the game to see if anything else of interest is worth talking about, but no, just a bunch of mazes. Why are you still here?